Okay, maybe fear is a bit of an exaggeration, but I really am not a big fan of tanks and medics, or tanks in general in Boom Beach when tanks are the main damage source. At least I don't have the patience for it, but it's still a decent strat, so we're going to force ourselves to use it for the first time in a long time. And the tribes have medic healing plus 50% boost this cycle, which is very nice. That way I can take an extra boat of tanks, but it has been so long and I am not good with this, so I'm not quite sure what to really focus. But I think what we want to start out with, I'm going to get rid of this grappler so I don't really have to worry about it. We can shock the other one, but I don't want our tanks going for rides. And it's GBE week also this week, so our temporary GBE ability is the Tiny Shock. Tiny Shocks are very nice. You throw them out there and they last like an eternity. So that's very nice, especially using them on boom cannons and other defenses such as grapplers. I probably didn't need to throw one onto the grappler because I kind of wanted to get that shock launcher shocked as well. And that would have been something nice to know beforehand or something to notice, but it's alright. Tiny Shock kind of running out there, so we are going to get a shock. And how are we looking? It looks like we lost one tank, so I think that was mainly to a boom cannon I was kind of just ignoring. And then the other thing I'm ignoring with this attack is the shield generator we're going to have to get through. Mark 3, so it's going to take a while to do it the long way, and I don't have enough GBE to take it out, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. And I think the best way to deal with it, we throw a shock behind that each, this isn't gonna go well. Wow, I'm just noticing that now. Alright, let's try and fix this. We'll get rid of that boom cannon. Don't want that picking off any more tanks, but now this is awkward as we are out of GBE. The only positive we have ever sparked with us as well, and that's very nice. Spawning critters. But this rocket launcher is not biting the critters. That is the sad part. It is just firing on all cylinders with our tanks, and here we are. A frustrated Mr. Goat because we are going to fail our first tank battle of the day. Interesting. Wow. This is kind of why I don't like it. I also don't know how to use it, so maybe that would be helpful if I knew how to use it. I was thinking about doing like tanks and bombardiers, to kind of shy away from tank medic because I'm not a big fan, but I was like, nope, we're gonna force ourselves. We gotta have some discipline, gotta have some self-control, and we are gonna learn tanks. Well, I guess I'm not really learning it, but I'm relearning that I'm bad with it. But as I'm talking, these tanks are kind of holding on. If we would have dealt with the stuff behind the HQ there, I think we would be in a good spot, but it is just awkward right now. Have little GBE left, and for some reason the shock launcher is just adamantly destroying our tanks. And I guess you can't really attack the critters when the critters are taking so long, or they're just getting taken out so quick. Now it's gonna focus it. Okay, maybe in this couple seconds here. Okay, now the shock blaster isn't targeting the critters. Frustrating. A minute left, and I think we're just gonna retreat here. There's really no point, and we're just wasting time. So off to a great start. Hopefully I don't do that again. But I don't know. If there was no shield generator, I think we would have got it, but we can't think that way because we just didn't get it. All right, let's move on to the next base. I don't want to get revenge because I don't want to lose twice to the same person. With the tank strat, like tanks should be broken. I'm used to the broken levels of scorchers and all that, but I'm gonna get a critter out, get rid of the shock mines, and then is there any boom mines I don't want our tanks to hit? Yes, there is. So we're gonna clean up, and there we go. Now our tanks are nice and protected, and we can just throw a couple shock bombs and get rid of everything in this first layer. Let's see. Let's make sure nothing behind the HQ is gonna... I just double barraged. I didn't mean to do that. No. Okay, so great start. This is what happens when you use tanks, Jimmy. It just never goes well. No matter how much you want it to work, you just stink with it. You don't know how to use it. You're not patient enough. And here we are. And they got a grappler. That is like perfectly blended in. That I respect that. That is like perfect for a grappler. I didn't even think about it. All right, but we'll probably take out the base before that tiny shock even wears off. Much smoother attack when you're attacking a base with no ice statues. I should have started out. You know, last battle it was just a warm-up battle. I'm gonna use that excuse because I would have beaten it if I warmed up on this base first. And no, I am not gonna test it out and see if it was a theory. We're gonna pretend like it was, and we're just gonna move on to a different part of the our archipelago. My gosh, nailed it. But let's see what we're getting. We're getting a good amount of loot, I will say. But what's your favorite temporary GBE ability? I would have to say Tiny Shock is definitely up there. So is Cry. Oh my gosh, we're gonna lose to this base too, aren't we? We might have enough shock bombs to get through it because there is no shield generator and a lot of it is in front of us. So I think we are gonna attempt this. I'm gonna get a box of critters down, get our troops down, and here comes the shock bombs. We'll get a tiny shock onto that boom cannon. Don't want him just one-shotting our tanks there. And now we will move on. But I think my favorite temporary GBE ability, I said I like the cryo bombs and tiny shocks. I also really love universal remote or remote hack. I always forget which one's Everspark's ability, but they do the same thing. So I'm sure you guys understand what I'm getting at. But universal remote, the only downside is it scales so quickly on how much GBE it costs. So that's quite annoying. Did that already come out? I don't think I played Boom Beach at all yesterday. So did we already have the remote hack? I'm not sure. And by yesterday I mean Monday, because we always post these a day later, and sometimes people get angry because we do like some of the daily events, and then they're like, "Hey, why didn't you post this yesterday?" It's like it is what it is, man. We like to schedule our videos. We don't like posting at night, you know. But anyway, we are gonna lose yet another battle, aren't we? Wow. This is why I don't like tanks. I'm not good with them. I never had the patience to learn, and here we are sitting and losing all of our tanks. I just don't know how to protect them, I guess. That's okay. You guys are here to see horrible attacks anyway, I assume. Otherwise, why are you watching me? I could have that might have just enlightened people to click off the video. I'm sorry. If you stuck around, like I'm still having a good time. I'm faking the frustration because I want the loot, but I know that I signed up for this at the beginning. I knew there was no chance we'd be any good. Like when you take a 2-year break from a strat or don't attack with a certain troop for a couple of years or a certain combo, and you leave it bad, you don't expect to come back good. Maybe you expect to get lucky a little bit and hope that your medics with an extra 50% healing could help out, but that's too much to ask at this point. We gotta get a shock out right there. I didn't want it to pull a single tank, and now we are just sitting here with Boombines about to wreck a couple of my tanks. And even on an easy base like this, I am starting to panic a little bit, and it is pretty disheartening, and I just don't know what to do here. It's okay. We will learn. Eventually we will learn. Maybe in another 2 years when we come back to this strategy, we will magically know how to attack with it. Who knows? Tanks are they're too slow. They're not worth learning, like. And plus, ever since like certain troops came out that have a range longer than the Grenadier, don't miss like Grenadiers, and do way more damage than any other troop in existing came out. Kind of like the passive, slow strats like this have fizzled out, at least in my experience. I could be totally off basis here. And then the other factor, ever since a certain troop was able to be held, ever since Landing Crafts were able to hold 2 of these troops, this mystery troop I'm talking about, that is when tanks, I was like, you know what, no longer, not gonna attack with it. And then February 2022, here we are. But we're gonna be able to take it out. I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I will see you in 2 years, Tank Medic. This was terrible. I will say that, but it, every once in a while you just got to refresh yourself that you don't like a certain troop, and I guess there is certain cases where I do like tanks. A couple strats, you add a boat or two of tanks, a little protection to bombardiers or other troops, and it's pretty complimentary. But I just don't like dedicated tank strats. You guys can exposing myself right now. We have a lot of bases to get through, and we are gonna switch to probably Scorcher Bombardier after I get off so we can clear this. But that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in tomorrow's Boom Beach video. Bye bye.